Now, Afghanistan's currency, as you can imagine, has fallen to a record low against the dollar, and that comes just days after the head of the central bank apparently had to flee the country. Ajmal Ahmadi described the chaotic scene at Kabul airport in a series of tweets on Monday. He said he was, quote, disgusted by the lack of any planning by Afghan leadership. And the World Bank said the country was already facing daunting economic challenges, and that was before the Taliban takeover. Eklil Hakimi was Afghanistan's former finance minister and the country's former ambassador to the United States, and he joins me now from California. We will get to a lot of issues on the table financially, but having been a member of his cabinet, why do you think President Ashraf Ghani fled Afghanistan, and have you had any contact with him since?
No, I stepped down from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs almost 3.5 years. And since then, I haven't been in contact at all. Well, why he left? I think the history will judge what he did, and I will certainly, if I was asked, I wouldn't have recommended for that action to leave the country.
You think what he did was wrong and abandoned the Afghans?
Well, I said history will judge him, but I wouldn't do that, because that created a lot of ambiguity, and right now there is a political gap because of that.
A political gap that has been claimed now by the Taliban wholly and thoroughly, it seems. Now, until a few years ago, you were a crucial part of Afghanistan's government, and as such, why do you believe that everything went so utterly wrong? Both the Afghan military laying down all of their arms, not resisting the Taliban, and then the Taliban so rapidly taking over the entire country.
Well, some people saying that was a magic. Even Taliban, they are surprised what happened. But according to my assessment, I think the majority of Afghan people, who some people call them silent voice, they decided to stop this war, and they have taken the lead, and they went to both sides to don't fight and come up with a formula to find a political settlement. And some of the tribe leaders, some of the elders, even religious scholars, they went to both sides and they talked with both sides to not fight. So I think that played a major role.
Interesting in terms of what went on there behind the scenes. There are still a lot of financial challenges ahead. How would you itemize them? And it's a key question, isn't it, for countries right now, whether it's the United States or European allies. Do you keep the money flowing even though the Taliban is now in charge?
Well, it depends on how international community wants to engage with Taliban, and I'm sure they are watching developments right now as we speak very closely. And also it depends on Taliban how they want to engage with the international community. But from the financial side, at least in the administration that I was responsible for our treasury, we relied on financial aid, especially from our donors. So according to World Bank figures, aid equivalents to 22% of our national growth income came from our partners. So even though that was a high figure before, and it came down long away from 49%, but again, more than 60% of our national budget now, we get support from the donors community. and I'm sure that will continue for some time, unless the new administration do something drastically to lower down the security expenses and also lower down the problem of corruption.
And there is a big problem with corruption there. Before I let you go, and I don't have a lot of time here, do you think that was the root cause of all of this? You've had some colorful quotes in the past about what you thought about the corruption and the level of corruption in Afghanistan.
Well, yes, it was a major issue. That's true, but there were various reasons for that. So fingering or pointing to one side who did what, I don't think that's a solution. We have to go through the root cause of this problem, which we inherited it from so many years, especially after 2001,
right,
because the country was not ready, and a lot of donors support very generously came to Afghanistan. So to some extent, it was misused from both players. So
and we will,
I think
I will have to leave it there for now, but we do appreciate your time, especially as we continue to see things unfold on the ground there. Obviously, the finances of the country, an integral part of everything going on. Thank you again for your time.